Welcome back to the Leicester City Women's Wrap-Up Show. It's so good to be back. We have a really special episode today that I'm super duper excited about. As usual, I'm joined by James. James, how are you today?
Not bad. It's our first show back after the summer, so looking forward to this. I think we've waited a long time to get Eve on, so I think this is going to be a really exciting one.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this one. And we have Eve, our very special guest. Hi, Eve, how are you?
Hi, I'm really good, thank you.
So Eve is from Her Game Too. So for anyone that's not quite familiar with what you guys do, can you just kind of give a bit of a background?
Yeah, so we are 12 female football fans that came together to basically shine a spotlight on the sexism that goes on in the game, raise awareness of it, and then also we want to create opportunities for female fans, coaches, players, and also create safe spaces for people to report this abuse and hopefully eradicate it.
So how did you guys kind of come together to start Her Game Too? Did you guys already all know each other prior, or were you just kind of just found everyone?
So a few of the girls knew each other. It was started by the founder is Kaz May. So she's a Bristol Rovers fan, and we basically all are on Twitter, and a few of us followed each other. That's how we really got to know each other. And then as she was reaching out to the girls, she would notice maybe people who were receiving this abuse on Twitter and get in touch with them and just ask if they wanted to join. So then we made a little group chat, and then that's how the first video came about, which is how we really started the campaign.
Mm-hmm. And have you noticed, like, how has since you started compared to now? Because it hasn't been too long, but have you noticed like a shift in? I don't want to say like has sexism like ended, because obviously it hasn't, and that's a huge challenge. But have you noticed like a shift and change towards fans, or like how's the support been?
So we have received so much support following the video that went live, and ever since then we've had loads of people get in touch, like not just women, we've had men get in touch, men who might have that have daughters or sisters or just friends that are females, and they really want to show their support. So we've been flooded with requests, which has been amazing. It hasn't stopped though. I mean, we haven't been to games since this campaign has been launched, because the video went live on FA Cup final day. So it's been just over 2 months. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a shift when we get back to games. There's still a minority of people online, which are we get tagged in a lot of the posts now when people are being sexist, and I think the shift is the amount of support that we're getting and being able to flood the negative comments with that support. So it hasn't necessarily died out, but the positive is outweighing the negative that we're seeing.
That's awesome. I'll hand it over to James.
I think it's great what you're doing. I live in a house full of girls, so I think it's great what you're doing. One thing that shocked me since your campaign started is the evidence that's coming out around the abuse that girls are getting. And from my point of view, it horrifies me that this 2021 and this is happening. I go to the games with my partner. There's quite a few girls there, and you'd want them to be safe. And I just think the stories I've heard as a man, it really horrifies me that this is still happening. And it means that some girls are afraid to go to the football, which is not what football's about. Football's about inclusivity, going as a family, enjoying it as a family. So for me, it just scares me that this is still going on, because obviously we're bringing the children into this world. So for me, I know you've been speaking to a few clubs. What do you think the clubs can do to improve the grounds and make them a lot more safe for women?
So yeah, we have had the support of so many clubs, which is amazing, and then they keep coming through. So hopefully soon it will be a very regular thing to see Her Game to at the games. I think, well, first and foremost, we're looking at getting like official support from the club. So even just a post or like a document on the website saying we are supporting her going to, we're working in partnership, that can just be so useful, because I think that even it just makes people stop and think, doesn't it? So by having these huge bodies say, like, show their support, that is massive. We also are looking at getting like posters on the back of toilet doors for a lot of the clubs, just saying where you can discreetly like let someone know if you've heard sexist abuse or if you've received it. I mean, lots of these clubs have got like officers or numbers that you can call, but like having gone to the games for the past 20 years, I couldn't tell you who is responsible for reporting that to. So again, and that's a massive one. And also just by like raising awareness, hopefully that if you hear it, we're hoping that people are more likely to say, look, we're not in the Stone Ages anymore, this isn't acceptable. But again, lots of different clubs are offering different things. We appreciate that everyone can't all offer the same, but we are looking at showcasing female fans in programs like once a month. Just, it doesn't necessarily all have to be negative either, just hearing like what their favourite memory is or why they support the team, things like that. Just showing that girls, yeah, we are football fans, and the more we can highlight it, hopefully, we will see an increase in the amount of girls that are going to the games and feeling safe, and a reduction in the abuse that we're hearing as well.
So you kind of mentioned ways that fans could gain support at games. So what advice would you give for anyone that's being harassed or receiving this abuse online?
So first and foremost, report it. If you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, then you could let one of us know it, or just tag the Her Going To account, and we'll be more than happy to take that further. If you are starting to feel unsafe, then certainly you need to make that known, whether that be to your club or to the local authorities, because sexism is against the law. I think people don't realise a lot of the time it can be just brushed off as banter, but when it starts getting nasty, and that's when it's not okay. So if you're ever not sure, then chances are that it's wrong, it's not okay, and that you do report it, and just know that you've got the support of like hundreds of thousands of people that understand that it's not okay. So the girls in the campaign, we're all pretty thick-skinned, so I think we are able to brush it off and still continue going to the games. But I completely understand why people might be put off, and we really don't want that. So don't let it go unnoticed. If something's bothering you, then do pass it on.
Yeah, and I know that me and Hannah have had various conversations, because I know that Hannah's received online abuse because she's a Leicester City fan. She knows the football, don't get me wrong, she enjoys football and knows the football and knows the stuff, and I know that people sometimes get threatened by it, and I know that me and Hannah have had a discussion that she gets online abuse, and I just think it's just so wrong that someone that knows football and loves football just gets abused for liking it. It's just so wrong in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only reason I can think of people targeting people like anyone who is not knowledgeable is because they just feel threatened. And, oh no, they know more than me. If it should be like, it should be a blessing. Should be able to have a nice conversation with someone, have a friendly debate. It's all about opinions. Football, like you might not agree with me, that's absolutely fine. But rather than just saying, "Oh, get back in the kitchen," or "You don't know anything, you're a girl," say, "Oh, I don't agree with that. I think he hasn't had a good season," or whatever. So yeah, it's cheap. It's cheap likes as well a lot of the time. Just no foundation from what they're saying.
No, I know that on the show we've discussed before about Twitter needs to do more around verifying accounts, because a lot of the accounts that I see trolling are faceless, no names, try to represent footballers, that sort of thing. They're just anonymous accounts, and I just think it's about time Twitter sorted this out and started to verify people.
Yeah, certainly. Especially after the abuse that the footballers received after the Euros, on top of all of this that we're getting daily. It's getting out of hand now. And I mean, like apps are able to do it if you set up a bank with Monzo, for example. You have to video yourself saying, "My name is Eve and I would like a Monzo account." It just seemed, if they can do it, why can't Twitter do it? And if you get banned once, then why are you allowed to make an account literally, as far as I'm aware, a few minutes later, just put different details in? It seems silly that in this day and age we're not able to show the protection through verifying people.
It's all weird too, I find. Like, you see, like James mentioned, these faceless accounts, and it's like a lot of them just sit there and watch for things to just respond to. And like, you have to wonder, like, I wish I had that kind of free time to just like, sit around and have like all the time in the world to watch everyone's tweets. But like, it's really weird. And there's also the whole concept of, you're talking about not only for fans but for footballers as well. And you don't only see like abuse and like sexism, but there's also kind of the really weird comments about like things that you wouldn't see towards a lot of men's players. Like, instead of complimenting a performance, it's just something like completely to do with like the slightest bit of appearance for the player. And I see stuff like that, I'm like, that's so weird. Like, I would be like weirded out by something like that. And then on top of it, you have like that abuse as well. So I guess I've reached a point of being like, okay, like this is ridiculous. Like, this is stupid. If I'm getting harassment or something like that, that's my response now. At first I was like, wow, like this really sucks. But now it's like, this is just, like I said, it's weird. Like, why are you taking time out of your day to give this perspective that I'm clearly not going to acknowledge or respond to? Like, at the end of the day, you're just like, you're not getting anything out of this. Sure, you might have like your little followers agree with you, even though they have zero idea what you could be talking about. But like, what are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of making like weird comments or harassing people? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's it. And a lot of the time it's like repeat offenders as well. Like, we'll see something and then we'll click on it and be like, oh yeah, it's the same person that did it last week. And as you say, it's as if, well, they've quite possibly got notification like settings on for when we're tweeting. It's that odd that can be the only explanation, unless, as you say, they're just sitting there just waiting for something. And a lot of the time it is these profiles where they have got like footballers as the picture, and they've got very few followers or whatever, and you just know that they're just little trolls that just set up these accounts probably every day. But it can still have like a detrimental effect, because you like what they say, like you need like a few more positive comments to outweigh a negative one that you've received, so that even if you get lots of lovely ones, that negative one will stick with you for a while.
So what do you think, just kind of thinking about it, what could the next steps be to help make this change?
So on our radar at the moment, we're trying to get every single club involved with High Game 2 in one way or another, which is obviously quite a huge task in itself. But by getting the support of the clubs, that also means getting the support of the players, which is huge as well. And the more that it becomes the norm, hopefully the less we'll see these comments. I think also we want to increase more opportunities, as I say. So we're looking at hosting like five-a-side event at Christmas time. So that's getting lots of girls together playing football. A lot of the time the girls want to play, but they don't necessarily have the role models there, or they're a little bit nervous about getting into the game. So we really want to try and make it as comfortable as possible, and start creating a new generation of football fans and making it become the norm that the girls do. They go, they play, and they're interested in football. But we're not just targeting younger fans. We're really keen about getting all the generations involved. I've spoken to many fans that think that this campaign is needed. So anything we can do to help support anyone who feels that they're not very comfortable going to the football or whatever, then we are looking at helping that.
And I think it's really good. So one question for me is around: have you got any Premier League clubs joined with you yet? Because I've seen you've got a few of the lower leagues, but don't think I've seen any Premier League clubs yet.
Nothing official. We are in talks with a couple of the Premier League clubs, but my hope is that once one joins and shows support, that's when they will hopefully start to steamroll and all come in. But yeah, the support we've had from the lower league has been unbelievable. We've had quite a few. But again, when we start getting to match days, hopefully that's when teams obviously visiting the grounds will see the badge, and then that's when they'll be more likely to get involved. I also appreciate it's been an incredibly busy last couple of months, so I'm not criticising any club at all for not getting involved yet, but hopefully the more it gets out there, the more we need to get involved with that campaign. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, and I think it was good to see that. Hopefully in the next few months you'll get quite a few clubs on board. And like you say, once one Premier League club does it, they'll all probably fall in line. And hopefully the Premier League will back it as well as one of the campaigns that they back. And that will give obviously huge implications for you guys and helps you get that word out there, and hopefully girls start to feel a bit more safe in the grounds.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I mean, the work that you're doing is amazing. It's awesome seeing that there's like an actual campaign, because before it was basically just seeing people backing each other up. But now we have this resource and a space where we know we can go if we're dealing with anything that we're uncomfortable with handling on our own terms. So thank you so much for the work that you guys do. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't just want to be just a campaign, just doing it like for the sake of it. We really want to have a purpose. So and it's not only, as I say, just highlighting the bad parts of what we see. We also really want to like shine a spotlight on the female fans and hear their stories and make it a happy, nice campaign as well.
I just think it's remarkable what you're doing. So while we've got you, Eve, we might as well talk about football. So we hear you're a Bristol City fan, which I think is big for our club, because I think a lot of Leicester fans will be supporting Bristol City this season for the obvious reasons that Nigel Pearson's gone there, Andy King's gone there, and you've got quite a few ex-Leicester players. So I think you'll have a good season. Have you got any predictions for this season?
I'm so excited to get back to the football this season, and also equally excited to have Nigel Pearson involved. And I've seen our new nickname is Red Leicester, I think, with a little block of cheese because of the amount of Leicester connections we've got there. I think we always seem to start the season so well, and we all get a little bit excited, and then we have to remind ourselves that we are Bristol City and we probably will throw it away. So I think thing with Nigel Pearson, like, he knows what he wants, he knows who he wants, and Rome wasn't built in a day. Therefore, if we can just get through this season, and if we could survive it, this sounds very negative for me, but I can't see us finishing in the playoff spaces or top two next season. I think it'd be a really exciting league, but we're coming back from COVID, have it first time back with fans. I think we can't expect too much. We are missing a striker at the moment, so that would help. So yeah, I'm going for mid-table, but then that's kind of setting the foundations for hopefully in a couple of years' time. That's when we can really push for Premier League.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Nigel will do a good job, but like I say, I don't think it'll be done in one season. From what he did here, it took him a few seasons to embed his ways, but we know you'll see a fight in your team, passion, and it was really, really good to watch. It's football that you want to go and watch. So I think everyone at Bristol City will enjoy that. But like you say, Rome wasn't built in a day. We nearly went down the Great Escape season and survived, and the next year we went on to win the Premier League. So you never know what's going to happen. But
Yeah.
hope to see you guys in the Premier League soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Then we'll catch you at the King Power.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be really exciting to see if you guys could come up. But I mean, you're bold because you made a prediction. James always asks me to make predictions. I'm like, no, because I don't want to jinx anything.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, it was a pretty broad prediction, to be fair. And as I say, well, I think if you speak to most Bristol City fans, we're I don't know, got a small bit of optimism. It is exciting getting Nigel Pearson in, but yeah, he has to build the team up himself, doesn't he? I think when he does a post-match interview, that's really interesting to see because he is just so blunt and to the point. Like, he doesn't sugarcoat anything, does he? Well, that is nice to see, and you can just only imagine what is going on behind closed doors as well. But it was a big statement getting him in, so hopefully they can show that it was worthwhile.
And then looking at Bristol City women, you're down in the championship now. Do you see them regaining promotion right away?
So I don't follow the women as much. Obviously, I keep an eye out on them, and I would love for them to be back in the top league. I think in the background they're building a really nice like foundation there as well. They've got really nice facilities, and they've got the backing of the men's team there. So hopefully, they will be able to get promotion. And yeah, it would be nice to see the two red teams back in the top leagues.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I just want to pick up your point around mentality. Like you say, with Bristol City, we know what to expect. And the last few seasons, we've done remarkably well. But there's always this thing in the back of your head that you remember I remember when we was in League One, we'd drop off, we weren't doing very well. There's always that thing in the back of the head that with Leicester City, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
It's that mentality, I think, that sometimes fans, like you say, start off the season, we're going to win the league. And then 3 games in, you think, this seems familiar. We went through this last season.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. I think with Leicester, though, well, as far as I'm aware, they're like everyone's second team, especially when it came to the FA Cup final. If you weren't a Chelsea fan, you wanted Leicester to win. I think everyone loves that, obviously, unless you're a Forest fan or something. But yeah, they're a really lovely team.
I love being a Leicester fan, but I feel like they bring me so much stress because, like James said, you're like, oh, we're gonna win the league, or we're gonna get Champions League, and then the last couple of games of the season happen, and you're like, oh right, I support Leicester.
That was, yeah, obviously not the end you wanted, but at least you got to win the FA Cup. People don't remember who finishes in the Champions League spots, do they? They remember who won the FA Cup.
Yeah,
you got me there.
I think that's right. We had conversations with other Leicester fans last year, and they were like, "We need to be in the Champions League." And the question I always asked is, who finished 4th 6 years ago? You don't know.
Yeah.
Who won the FA Cup? You know, wins the FA Cup. This is the first time we've ever won it. It's in our history now, and people go 2021 win our Leicester City rather than you came 5th. It's like people know who won the league, who won the cups, but nobody goes who won 4th.
Exactly.
So I think our last question, unless Hannah's got any more questions.
No, I'm good. I asked everything so far.
So we're going to create a playlist this season. So every single one of our guests that's coming on needs to nominate their favourite song, and it'll go into our playlist. So you're first because this is our first show. Hopefully along the line, we've been interviewing a few Leicester players. I think we've got a few radio people coming on as well. So we'll ask everyone the same question. So the question is what is your favourite song to go on our playlist?
Okay, so I'm gonna pick an oldie, and it's a song that's very special to me, and it reminds me of the year that Bristol City got promotion back in 2007, so quite a while ago. But it's Bryan Adams' "Summer of '69."
That's a good one. That's a good start to the playlist.
Okay.
We're starting like straight out of the gate. That's a good one. I was like, I hope no one comes out with like a super like slow song that's gonna make everyone sad. But that's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
That's awesome.
I think
Well,
that's
thank you so much.
I think that's a great start to our playlist as well, Hannah.
It beats all of my music opinions apparently, because everyone that comes on the show hates my music.
Yeah, I do remember once you got slated for liking Coldplay.
Oh,
Coldplay.
yeah. Well, I like them, but maybe not for like pre-match vibes. But
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But in general, I was shocked that every guest has been from the UK, so I'm expecting like people to love Coldplay, because we worship any Canadian artist here. We're just thankful that we have them. And then everyone that's come on has been like, "How can you like Coldplay?"
Oh no, right? No, I can appreciate Coldplay.
Fair enough. They're not my favorite, but they're up there. I think everyone like. I get messages sometimes, people being like, how can you like Coldplay? Like after watching the show, and I'm like, is that all people are taking from this? Is like the opportunity to abuse me about Coldplay? But oh well.
Thanks for coming on, Eve. It's been really great. Better than I thought it was going to be, because I thought we would run out of questions, but it's just so great what you're doing. I probably have 1,000 more questions that I wanted to ask you, as I always do. But thanks for coming on. It's been amazing. Obviously, we're partnering with you, so we're going to put all your stuff on all of our channels, etc. And I was just going to say we're part of the Leicester City Women's Supporters Club. So we'll probably put you in contact with them as well, because I know they're just starting. They're going to go to home and away games this season, and I think it would be tremendous for you to be part of that as well. So we can put you in contact with them as well, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Leicester City are the first club that starts to help you guys, because we'd like the King Power to be as inclusive as possible and family friendly, so that everyone goes down there and enjoys themselves.
Thank you so much for all your support. We are all 12 of us are so grateful, and thank you for having me on today as well.
That's okay. Thanks, Eve.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. I know you guys are going to make some big moves.
Thank you.